We have a beautiful sunny day here in Winnipeg today. And before we get going on this thing here, I gotta make a bit of a correction. Yesterday afternoon, after I had uploaded our video, I was watching it. I'd like to say that I watch it because it is so good, but actually I watch it for mistakes. And if there's any serious mistakes, well, I'm able to pull the video, change the mistake, and re-upload. However, I don't think I've had that happen very often. In fact, I can't even honestly remember the last time that I had to pull a video and re-up. Oh yeah, I can. About 2 years ago, that I had said something that offended somebody, and when I thought about it, I realized, that's right. And I pulled it, I deleted that scene, and then I re-uploaded it. But anyway, once again, we're getting into information that you don't need to know. However, I was noticing that I had said that there was 150 blades. At first I thought there was 300 because that sort of rang a bell, but then when I was looking at the packages, I thought there's probably 50 in each one of these. But then when I was looking at the video last night, I was thinking, you know what? It looks like there's more than 50 blades here, because this is 10 and it's just by itself. So I brought it up on my Amazon account. They list everything that you bought and hope you'll buy it again. And sure enough, it was 300. Now look at the price there. What was that? I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think it's around $19 for 300 blades. And I did the math, and I think it comes to just a little over 6 cents a blade. Now, from what I could tell yesterday when I was, experimenting around with this blade, I think it seems to be just as sharp as the brand name blades. And at 6 cents a blade, you hobbyists, if you go through a lot of these, you might want to look into that. Now, you might notice that here in Canada, Amazon only has 2 packages left. Now, of course, you might be dealing with Amazon UK or Amazon AU or Amazon.com, and that might be a different story altogether. But if you're here in Canada, there's only 2 left. Anyway, let's get on with this. Now, I know I said we were going to get back to our model here, but and I sort of feel guilty about doing this, but I bought this thing from Cellar Dweller here in Winnipeg many years ago. This is not the first one of these little, I think there's 15 blades in this thing, and it's not the first one I've bought. It's probably the 3rd package I bought. And I was just all of a sudden thinking, why not see if these blades, and I don't see why they shouldn't, will go in this dispenser. Now, I'm noticing here that it looks like we have 3 genuine. Let's see if I can get them out here. I think there's 3 there. It doesn't really matter how many. Yeah, there's 3. Okay, so if I take these 3 and put them at the top, so we use them first. Now, take these 10 here. We should be able to get them to go. I'm trying to do this on camera, so it's looking kind of awkward, right? Wonder if I don't know why I have this thing about, well, that didn't work out as planned. Why is this not going down now? Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off and just do it. Okay, we got it. I know you're probably thinking you're going to see like 3 pints of blood laying on the model table here, but I didn't cut myself. Yeah, we got them in here. Yeah, and the 3 genuine Exactos are on the top here. Probably room for a couple of more yet, but we'll just leave 13 in there. Lucky 13, right? I think that's a good place to stop. Now, another thing I was just thinking, when you take your blade and you take the old blade out, you put it in the slot here, and I'm just wondering, Can I get this open and get the old blades out? I'll do anything not to have to work with photo-etch, won't I? This is the first time I've tried this, so... oh, this might not be a good idea. If I take this out, maybe the spring that is on the other side of this is going to go sproing and go right clean across the model room here, and maybe I'll just leave well enough alone there. Well, you know what? When I get down to the end here, if I ever do, then we'll take it apart. But I'm almost positive from the way this thing's made here that the spring that is on the other side of here is going to come flying out of there. Okay, now let's get to the photo etch. Now this is where we were yesterday when our multimeter arrived at the door. And we're going to try and get this part mounted on here. Now you'll notice that there's marks on the top of this turret. That is where these are supposed to go. I think they'll probably be reasonably close, but this is my first attempt at this. Now I want to... okay, now these little ones right here that are coming down at a 45-degree angle, they are going to have to maybe be spread a little bit, probably about a millimeter. Maybe if I was to lay it on, whoops, nope, not like that. See, I want to use Tony's tweezers here because they don't slip on the photo etch, whereas the metal ones have a tendency to slip. And these ones here, I'm scared to squeeze too tight. I have a problem with that, don't I? Okay, there, I'm squeezing it a little harder. Now if I was to... maybe I've got it positioned the wrong way. Maybe I should turn it the other way. I don't know if that's going to be better or worse. How to end up having a long video just do a lot of stupidity like this. Okay, now get hold of this here. Okay, now if I lay this on here and then just sort of... no. Excuse me. Okay, now what I've got here is a piece of plexiglass. This is the plexiglass that we use when we're nipping off pieces of photo etch. And I'm thinking that I can put this down on here. Now, I don't think we need the diagram anymore. We know how this is supposed to go, but, you know, just, I think it looks good in the video. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of blue tack. And if I put that, stick that onto the plexiglass, like so. Now, I got to be very careful here because if you remember, we do have a little ladder on the other side here. And if I grab this wrong, I'm probably going to break it off because we only use clear coat to glue it on. Now, I still think that was a good idea. Now, if I put this in here, now we do want it facing this way, don't we? Yeah, we decided we were going to try and do it turned around. Okay, now when I'm working at it here, I'm not going to be moving this thing around. I think I'm going to be able to put a little bit of, you know, pressure on everything here. Now it has to go, yeah, it has to go like this. I think that's the way it has to go. Or were we going to do it? Okay, I'm going to try these tweezers here and just pick it up on that tab. Okay, there we go. If I put it like this, now I think that if I twist it around and hook these 45-degree angle brackets down, you know what? I'll stick the macro lens on and we'll move in. Now, maybe having the manual as a background is not a good idea. Maybe the green model table would have been better. Now, I could move in just a little bit more yet with this lens, but if I do, then we don't get the overall perspective of the entire module here. Now, if I hook this one over here like this, then spread it slightly. Now, pardon my big ugly fingers here. Maybe I'll use Mr. T's poking device to hook that one over like this and pull this one out. And swing everything down into place here. Well, will that stay there by itself? Or is it going to fall over as soon as I let go? If I could get one of these glued into place, like say this one right here, then we could twist the other ones around and glue them into place. This one here should be, let's see here if I can bend it just a little bit. That's somewhat better. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to get all four of these brackets in the right place at the same time, but like I'm saying, let's say I could just do one, then do the other, and then these pieces that are coming down at a 45-degree angle, we'll try and figure out where they're supposed to go afterwards and glue them onto the sides. At least that's the plan. I'm probably going to have to reposition here somehow. And I imagine the glue to use will be we definitely can't solder it on, so it's going to have to be CA. Probably medium would be the best, because the thin might have a tendency to just sort of flow away. You know, like this one that I'm holding on. I think I've got it almost exactly in the right spot. There's almost, you can probably see it. There's a little bit of a I was going to say a trough, but it's sort of molded so that you can hold it in like that. See, that's in the perfect spot right now. Now, too bad I didn't have my CA ready, or I could try and put it on there. But then I'd probably end up gluing the poking device to the top of the turret. I'll have to think of something here. Okay, I've pulled back a bit so that you can see what it is that I'm trying to do here. And now, my thinking is if we can get this on again, now it appears that I have sprung these little 45-degree angle parts out. Maybe I should be holding on to this with something different here. Now I don't want to damage the grill on the other side. Now, if I can get this down into place here like this, and then if I can take this and, oh shoot, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and then we'll move in afterwards. Now it's taken me about half an hour to get to this place. I'd almost get it, and then I'd knock everything over, so to speak. Now you can see that just the tip, just the point of Mr. T's poking device is resting on the top of that bracket, which is almost exactly in the right place. And I'm going to try and shove the point in just a little further because it looks like it's almost ready to slip off. Okay, now if I could come up with a hobby knife here and just shove that bracket up just a little bit farther. Ooh. Get it, if I could get it more into that slot, if you know what I mean. It's not quite at the right angle. Like, I realize that this one is a way off, but I think after we get this one glued down, then we can sort of bend the others into place. So I'm going to take and put some CA medium on there. Now I do know that CA thin. Now I do know that we are going to actually be gluing the point to the photo etch, but I think that we should be able to twist it away or pull it away without breaking the part off. Okay, now I just want to just get some on there and let it gotta be so careful I don't bump anything here. There. Pretty sure I got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, let's let that cure. Okay, I've readjusted my light here. I don't know if it's going to be any better. And about 10 minutes has passed. And I think we should be able to break this loose now. Oh my, it's on there harder than I thought. Well, sort of wedge it off here. There we go. Okay, oh, it did leave a little mark there, didn't it? Okay. Yeah, there is a little something going on there that shouldn't be there. Maybe I can get rid of that later. Now, are we stuck down over here or is it loose? Okay, it is actually glued down. Now I know there's people shouting at their screen, no, 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 you don't need it anymore, but I don't know. I'm just going to reinforce it. And then later, after that dries, then we'll get rid of this little whatever it is there. Let me just try it now. We're probably not at the best angle for you to see here. What I need is something that would be called a nano saw. I don't know why I'm bothering doing this. No one's going to be able to see this. Guarantee you no one's going to be able to see it. Well, there. I got some of it anyway. Okay, well, our CA glue is completely curing here. Let's check our multimeter. Now, I already did check it yesterday with this 9-volt battery, but I want to check it with a 1.5-volt battery. I was thinking that it was reading a little bit high. I have some resistors that I got from Radio Shack way back in the 70s when I was messing around. I don't think I burnt them out, although I do remember one time one of them got really hot. But I think we should be able to check to see what if the resistance is reasonably accurate. Because as I mentioned before, the things that I want to work is the DC volts and maybe AC volts, although that's not too important. Resistance and what was the other thing? Forgot. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. I'll try and set this thing so that you can see it as well. Oh, by the way, if you take this apart, like this comes off and then it separates and you can see the the circuit board and everything. If you remember, was it a few months ago we took my old one apart, and I was disappointed in that the place where the contacts that, when you turn this, there's contacts that touch on the circuit board. Well, it's the exact same cheap setup in this one as in the other one. So I can well imagine that for anybody that does this, uses one of these for a living, he's not going to have one of these. Yeah, I think this is only like $43 Canadian delivered to the door. So what do you expect, right? Anyway, let's see what we can do here. See if I can get this adjusted so that you can see the screen, so there won't be reflection on it. It might take me a minute here. I think you can see that all right. Let's see what happens now when we turn it on. Okay, the first thing we'll do, make sure is we got this right here, that I don't have it into the amps, and I'm going to blow a fuse. Oh, there's two little fuses inside this, as best I remember anyway. Okay, so we're going to go to DC volts. All right. Now this is auto ranging. Oh, that bar graph that you see moving across, it's sort of a ranging type thing. I kind of know how it works. It's kind of nice. Now, where's my 9-volt battery gone? Okay, can you still see that okay? Alright, so we're going to touch it on here and see what we got here. Okay, 9.747 volts, so 9.5 volts, so that's about right. All right, let's check one of these now. These are brand new. .603 volts, so yeah, a little over one and a half volts, 1.6. These are 1.5 volt batteries, so 1.6. That's about right. Maybe it's closer than I thought it was. Okay, let's try the resistors here. Now, like I say, I haven't used these for a long time. Okay. So what do we got here? Okay, that's 1 ohm resistor. Would that be true? Or would it be 1R? Well, let's find out. Okay, ohms. Okay, I believe that's right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, those are obviously 1 ohm resistors because I've got 2 of them set wired up in a series. So these are 1 ohm resistors. Now this one here, I believe it says 51. Okay. Try and get it here. Okay, it says 52 ohms. Okay, let's see if we can find a different one here. Here's a 100 ohm resistor. This is the only thing I can compare it to, is something that I know is supposed to be. Okay, it says 101.5 ohms, so that's close enough for me, for the for the type of messing around that I do. I have here my old Seiko watch, and I got this around 1974. This was back when the liquid crystal display first became popular. If you remember the old quartz watches when they first came out, they were the LED type, and you had to push a little button and they lit up. And we thought, oh, that was wonderful. And then a couple of years later, this style came along, and this was actually a real high-end watch in its day, around 1974. This is the kind of watch you wanted to have. And I remember at the time when I got it, I believe that it said that the calendar would automatically set itself for leap years and all that kind of stuff up until I believe it was the year 2008. And at that time I thought, that's never gonna come. Anyway, there's a battery here. I bought this in July of '91. It's long since gone dead. It's in here somewhere. I think it's, yeah, there it is. And the last time I checked it, it had reversed itself. So let's just put this back on DC volts here and see what's happened here. Okay, so the outside jacket is supposed to be the positive, but when I checked it years ago, it had reversed itself. Let's just, for the fun of it, see what's going to happen here. 15 volts? I don't think so. Minus 15 volts? Is that possible? Those of you who know about these batteries, is it possible that the voltage could have jumped that high? I don't think so. Yeah. I'm not going to put this in my watch just in case it is 15 volts. I think it's only supposed to be 3 or something. I'd put my magnification hood on so I can read it. And it'd be kind of fun to see if this still works. Anyway, for those of you that wanted to see my multimeter, well, you saw it. Oh, one more thing. I didn't check the AC voltage. Okay, that should be AC. And you can't see me doing it, but I'm going to take the probes and stick them into an outlet here. And I'm going to guess, here in Winnipeg our voltage has always been fairly high, at least at this house. And I'm going to guess it'll be anywhere from 118 to 123. Okay, let's see if I can get it to go in here. That was a pretty close guess. It's 121 volts. That's about right. Okay, so we know that works too. Okay, now we're done. Now, it looks as though we're not going to have any more time for the model ship. I'm sorry about that for those of you who hate it when I get sidetracked. However, this button battery has really thrown me for a loop here. Okay, so when we measure the voltage on our 9-volt battery, at 9.4847, okay, that's 9.5 volts. That's pretty standard. Our 1.5-volt battery, 1.6, okay. But when we come down to this button battery, -14. Okay, it goes to -14. Now, I know that when I tested it way back in, I tested it in 2018 for some reason, and it was minus at that time. But, okay, Tony, you're the electronics expert in this group. If you're watching, what could this be here? 14 minus 14 volts. I knew it had reversed itself as it, but to all of a sudden go set to such a high voltage, or is it a case of I'm not reading this right? Yeah, I just can't figure this out. You know, 14, almost 15 volts. Okay, enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.